Right, I'm back at you with another quick hit. All right, this lesson, I really wanted to go into this lesson. This is going to be based on the understanding unclean spirits and how these things work. All right, when you first wake up to this truth, right, all of us had unclean spirits on us, one way, one form, right? Several unclean spirits on it. It says one. We're going to go to Luke 11 and 23. It says 24, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man. Pay attention to this. This is going to go into the real spiritual meaning of things now. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places. So the unclean spirit is that spirit that was dwelling within you until you woke up to the truth. Because what does the truth do? It cleanses you. How shall a man cleanse his way? By taking heed to the washing of what? According to the word. So that unclean spirit, it leaves. Right? He walketh through dry places, seeking rest. You know some of them horror movies, it zooms up the camera and you just see the spirit, you just see it gliding, going different places. Well, that's how it is, because spirits don't die, right? Seeking rest and finding none. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because I want to acquaint this also with so-called gang stalking, so you can get the proper meaning of what's going on. It says he walketh through dry places, seeking rest. So that one spirit that left you, right? And it says, and finding none. So, where is it seeking rest? It's looking for a vessel to inhabit. So that spirit, that for all the brothers that have repented and they no longer have that unclean spirit, well, where have them spirits gone? They're dwelling in the other people because they need to rest. But it says findeth none. Why did it say findeth none? Because it's trying to get back into you. Alright? He saith, I will return unto my house, which is what our vessels, which I came out. So this also shows us, this is another reason. Some people may say, well, why is he always doing lessons? Why is he always studying? Because I don't want them unclean spirits to enter back into me. That's why. And that's part of what the old man who you were before. Them wicked spirits. And when he cometh, he findeth it swept and garnished. He says he findeth it swept and garnished. So that's like a refurbishment. You know, you're emptying out a house, right? Swept and garnished. So this is indicative of someone that goes days and days and days and days, 5 days, week, 2 weeks, and you ain't studied, you ain't prayed, you ain't fasted, you ain't doing that, you ain't linked up with the brothers. Well, what's going to happen? There's going to be nothing in your mind. And Satan is all, that's why it scripture says in Peter's, the devil was a Roman lion seeking who he may devour. So that same spirit that left you, it's always going to say, invite you back in. Come on, do the things you were doing in the world. That's why it says, find if it's swept and garnished, completely cleaned out. And we don't want that. This is verse 26. Check this out. Then goeth he and taketh to him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself. That first spirit that inhabited your vessel, but it left. But it says it taketh what? 7 other more. Look, come. Look, he ain't reading, he ain't studying, he ain't praying. Let's bring our buddies, you know. And this is what happens. I've seen this several. It's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. I've seen this several times. Men go missing week, 2 weeks, and what happens? They end up worse than before. And he taketh to him 7 other spirits. That means completion. But that would represent legion, right? A legion's about 3,000 troops, 4,000. And taketh him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself. And these are stronger spirits, by the way. Right? These are reinforcements. And they enter in. And they dwell there. Right? So they inhabit what? Your mind. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. Oh, man. It says the last state of that man is worse than the first. Now you're in a worse state than you were. And this is why we need to be religion and focus on the truth. Quickly go to Matthews now. So you see how this acquaints with so-called gang stalking, because them spirits that left you, they're now, excuse me, they're now dwelling in other people now, because they have to go somewhere. They need a vessel to inhabit. Okay, so that's another form of why you may be gang stalked, because them spirits are now dwelling in other people. Okay, go to Matthew 6 and jump straight to 21. You know, go to 22. The light of the body is the eye, is our mind, right? If the eye be single, I love this scripture, and this is Yahushua speaking. If your eye be single, focused on Yahushua, right, the whole body shall be full of light. So it's going to show. If your eye be single, your whole body's going to be full of light. You're going to have a radiance about you. Brothers that are focused on the truth, they have a radiance, they have an aura about them. But if the eye be evil, the whole body shall be full of darkness. And we know this world is full of darkness. This world is full of darkness. It's full of negativity. Right? And that's why you got the 5G. Right? They could what? They can mess with the frequencies. Turn the frequencies down, turn it up. Have you in a funny mood? And that's why we got to lift up our frequency. The light of the body is the eye. If the eye be single, focused on the truth, the whole body shall be full of light. But if the eye be evil, how is our eye turned evil? By not being focused. The whole body shall be full of darkness. What's that? Wickedness, obscurity, ignorance. And you're going to be doing what these people are doing. Scoffing, walking around, having no purpose. Right? That's what you're going to be doing. Having an evil eye. You got to watch out for that evil eye. Because the evil eye is also what? Witchcraft. Okay? And what did Saul do? King Saul had an evil eye towards David. Chucking javelins at him. And them javelins, I believe them javelins also represent accusations as well. Because David never done nothing to his son. He was anointed king because Saul was disobedient. But if the eye be evil, the whole body shall be full of darkness. And you tend to look at people that are very evil. They have some dark bags around their eyes because they're doing evil. They just have a dark presence, a dark countenance. Now it's different now. When we do our videos, and you may say, well, you have a dark countenance. Well, because it's the lighting on the camera ain't too good, that's why. Okay. Or they ever wearing shades. You people walk past you, they got to wear shades. Why are you hiding your eyes for? Show your face, show your eyes. Because you're doing darkness, that's why. If though the light is in you, be darkness. How great is that darkness? So that darkness that you had, that light, if that turned to darkness, how great was that darkness? That means you've been encompassed by darkness. That means that's a great darkness. Because we have all the things we need, all the ammunition we need to stay in the spirit to the best of our ability. Right? It doesn't mean you need to go out every day on our highways. And look, the main thing, just stay focused. A chapter a day keeps the demons away. Oh, let's say that again. A chapter a day keeps the demons away. So at least try to read a chapter at least. Okay. So we went to that Baba Kasha. So we went to that. And this is how these unclean spirits get in, and brothers start having an evil eye towards their brothers. Now let's go to Ecclesiastes 33 and start at 25. Check this out. And yes, this is twofold. If thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. Right? So this is a form of labor. Right? Because you need to take up time to study, yeah, look up words, go into the concordance, and etymology, and link all these precepts up together. That takes time. Okay? But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. Right? To do what? Madness. Just like the people in the world, just like if you have a son, if you don't discipline him, he's just going to do anything. Start running the streets. Verse 26, a yoke and collar do you bow the neck. So are the tortures and torments for an evil servant. Right? So, evil servants, what are they going to have? Nothing but tortures and torment. Because they're not doing what Yahweh told him to do. Verse 27, send him to labor, that he be not idle. For idleness teacheth much evil. And there's even what sayings in the world, right? Idle hands are the devil's workshop. That's true. So when you're idle, you will end up doing wickedness, because that's what it does, and the devil loves that. And that's how he's able to get an entry, get a doorway. Okay? And that's why you see these people, they're doing a whole bunch of wickedness. Because they're idle. That's why you see people just driving around, circling, right? Doing the loop, because they're idle. Satan has hold of their vessel. They're reprobate. That's why you see people following people, because they're reprobate. They're idle. So the devil's using them. Send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil. And that's how the spirits are able to get in that what vessel, right, and use you. This ain't the thing just to lay back, oh well, I've been in this, or so-called 4 years or whatever. Oh, that's enough now, I can just rest. No, we can't rest. Jump to Matthew 24, 25. It's always them times that we're complacent. And if you're a member of the elect, Yahweh will say, no, you're being too complacent now. I'm going to put more hell on you. Just because you're being complacent. You can never rest. Satan ain't resting. Go to Matthew 25. And to you so-called Christians, I hope you got your notepads and your pen and you're writing these things down. Those of you that are sincere. Because I know most of what is Sunday today, most of you are going to be going to church, learning nothing, just clapping, singing, hear my cries, oh Lord. You know, the church is a circus these days. They're not really learning anything. Go to Matthew 25. Okay. And okay, go straight to verse 44. Go to verse 46. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. So we know, even before Yahushua comes, we may not have scriptures in our hands, but we're going to what? Be applying what we were taught when Jacob's trouble happens. Verily I say unto you that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. And that's what we want, the kingdom. But and if an evil servant shall say in his heart, his mind, my Lord delayeth his coming. He's not coming in time. And this is what happens. But certain men, they're not going to tell you that. Oh no, it's taking too long. Some men will linger around. Oh, he's delaying, it's not happening fast enough. Well, have you been watching the news? Have you been seeing what's been going on? It is happening fast enough. They shall begin to smite his fellow servants that beat him, and to eat and to drink with the drunken. And this is when you start treating brothers any type of way, slandering brothers, false witness, all that type of madness, right? Because these men don't possess the fear. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him. That's why the Lord told us to watch. And an hour that he is not aware of, come on now, and cast him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Come on now. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. We don't want that. And you don't want to have your portion with the hypocrites, because we knew better. So there's more on our shoulders now, because we know. So if you don't do what he says, it's going to be just a greater punishment. Okay. The scriptures also give you the description of a faithful servant and an evil servant. Go to Revelations. Oh, you know what? Zephaniah. I haven't been in that script for a long time. Zephaniah. See if I can find it quick. This is Zephaniah 1. And jump straight to verse 12. Check this out. And it shall come to pass at that time, when I search Jerusalem, people before it's a place, with candles. What do you think them candles are? The candles are the men that have eyesight, the men that are in the spirit, and the angels. There's a scripture on that in Proverbs. I don't think I'll be able to find it. Right? And punish the men that are settled on their lees. So even the angels see what's happening within these churches, different churches. And punish the men that are settled on their lees. Lees is referred to wine that you hold back for a long, long, long time. Right? So men that are comfortable, that got their feet up, that say in their hearts, the Lord will not do good. Actually, he will not do good. Neither will he do evil. So these are men that really don't believe. Okay, that's why the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Go to Revelations. But we pretty much got the main point out. Okay. You can't get too comfortable. And this is for myself as well. Okay. Revelations 3 and 5. I know thy works, this Yahweh speaking to the church of Laodicea. I know thy works. So he already knows what you're doing. That are neither cold nor hot. You're not one. You're not either. Right? You're like Humpty Dumpty. Remember that cartoon? Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. We can't be on the fence. Either we're cold or hot. So Yahweh, remember, he's a decisive man. You're either all in or just go back into the world. So then because that are lukewarm, you look at that word lukewarm, is tepid, fluctuating between hot and cold. And neither cold nor hot. I've said this before, when you're drinking, well, it's different with wine, that you can drink wine warm, you can drink wine cold. But when you have a beer, a Guinness, or a Dragon Stout, you want that cold. Right? When you have a meal, you like your meal hot. When you go to a restaurant, you don't want it lukewarm. You take it back. Right? So this is how Yahweh wants us to either be cold, right? You're not in it at all, or hot. You're on fire for the truth. And I will spew thee out of my mouth. And this is what happens. I've said these things, and I don't do much lessons on this anymore. I still do them, but not as much as I used to. Out of my mouth. You spew something out your mouth, it means it's distasteful. You spit it out. Right? Yuck. So this is how Yahweh sees men that are. It is a serious thing. Right? If you're thinking, oh well, I've gone 3, 4, 5 days, and Satan's telling you, oh, the Lord ain't dealing with you, well, you got to take that on board. But how long are you gonna wait? There's 24 hours within a day, so you can't take out 5 or 10 minutes to do a lesson. You can't take 5 or 10 minutes out of your day to do a lesson. But I'm sure after you work, what do you do after you work? You come home, right? Yeah. You come home. What do? What's the first thing you do? Take off your shoes. What? You get in the shower. How long does that take? Between 5 minutes, taking off your clothes, getting in the shower, right? And then what do you do after that? What do you sit down? Do you eat? Do you cook? How long does that take? 10 minutes. So I'm sure you got time to do a lesson. So there's no excuses. Verse 17, because thou sayest, I am rich and increasing goods and have no need of nothing. Right? Because I'm sure, well, hold on a minute. Because I'm sure if a woman was to ring you now and say, yeah, come over, you come over to the crib. I want to give you some, panani. I'm sure you'd be fast to do that. Get the clothes on, run. I'm sure you'd be fast to do that. Right? So a lot of guys are full of shit and have no need of nothing and know that they are wretched and miserable. You got to remember your first state when you were in this truth. Remember, them spirits got removed off of you. Okay? And blind and naked. We were miserable in the world, wretched, poor, and blind and naked. We always got to remember these things. Humble beginnings. A lot of men don't appreciate this truth. They just come to camp, start giggling like a pack of hyenas, not taking the truth seriously. And the counsel need to buy me of gold tried in the fire, which was supposed to be that gold that made us be rich, in white raiment, and made us be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear. Oh, your shame of your nakedness will appear if you go back into the world. And anoint thy eyes with eye salve, which owls, they have what? A particular oil where they can see within the night time. So, Yahushua, when you're really into this word, he's able to give you eye salve, make you see what others don't see. You can see through the dark, you can see the lies, you can see the deception. Okay? So with this, I hope this was edifying, man, to whoever needs to hear it. And just do as much as you can. I'm not saying, oh, just do 10 videos a day. I don't even do that much. But just make sure you're making an effort. Because that's what Yahushua is looking at. It's not what man sees. It's what Yahushua sees. Okay? So with this, I really hope this was edifying. And until the next time, shalom to the hopeful elect. Stay prayed up and stay faithful. And pray for brothers as well. You brothers that are really sincere and that are trying, pray for them. Right? Because you never know what they may be going through. Until the next time, shalom.